G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here and I'm vlogging on my Osmo Pocket 3. Come on, what do you think? Let me know. Audio is going straight to the unit rather than any extra audio. That's not what I'm talking about today. Today I want to talk to you through the updates that have come through on the XbotGo gimbal, which is a gimbal that is AI tracking sporting events that happen in front of you. And they've made some amazing changes that really take this to the next level. For example, auto zoom in with auto tracking. So let's get into these changes and see how they can benefit you.
Version 2.44 update is now available and they have some new features. That includes live scoreboard recording to track match progress, the real all-important must-need 3x zoom for clear tracking of main subjects, so basically it zooms in, one-touch editing for creating highlight reels, performance optimization, streamlined recording and shooting process, fixed occasional page crashes, upload user information rules, resolved issues with video uploads to the cloud in certain global regions, and we are away. So I wanted to open up the app and show you a little bit about how all this takes place and how helpful it can be. So in order to do this, we need to turn on the gimbal, then we need to make sure our Bluetooth is live, and we're going to pop over to the app. If we open that up, you'll see that it should say it's connected. There you go, gimbal is connected. Now we choose our option, our sporting mode, as you realize. So we're going to go football, going to go to next. We're doing under 14s, it's a full-size field. And this takes us to our screen. And normally you would have a sporting field in front of this, but for sakes and purposes, I'm not going outside because it's raining and there's no sport happening. So in the meantime, let me walk you through what you can do here. The all important option is these three dots here. Once you pull up those three dots, you see the system settings, and we can use basic settings or advanced settings. You can have a maximum video duration. So if it's an hour-long game, you can click that, or if it's an other duration, you can put that in. It will enable the recording to go to 90 minutes rather than go to 30 minutes and reset at another 30 minutes. It's a seamless reset, but it resets. You can screen auto dim on or off. If it's on, it just means you save more battery in your phone. You can go auto zoom off or on. So auto zoom means as it tracks, it zooms in on your subject. Auto tracking, can't imagine why you would never have that on. Let's go to advanced settings now. And as you can see, there's an OK and a cancel button. That means to OK all the changes we're making. Now, a couple of things I think are really important. It has a natural sphere of 140, but if you're on the sidelines of, say, a football event, you're actually going to want 180, and so you can drag that out to being 180. Then another important setting is the maximum panning speed. So 1,000 is good, but I actually would like to see it right up there, potentially at 2,500. I think you'll get a much better bang for your buck. Now, here's some video that I shot using those previous settings, and you'll see that it was okay, but it was a little bit clunky, it missed the ball, and so on and so forth. This time though, with these new settings, I'm actually going to take another shot of another game, and we're going to see how that compares. So now that you've seen roughly what to expect on those settings, let's go to a different game and these new settings and see how it performs. Alright, so you will notice with this footage that as I go through, it doesn't actually zoom in. And I was expecting really zoom in and close quarters shooting, but it didn't do that. When I asked XbotGo what was happening, they said the current zoom function only works for basketball and football modes. Now this was in football mode, but it's only related to the algorithm and doesn't necessarily zoom in every time the players gather. But I felt it didn't zoom in at all, and so I was a little bit disappointed with that, as I was really hoping for a really pushed in, just getting right in there, tight grab of what was happening. Now I had it on 180 degrees, but I found when the balls moved quickly, the boys moved quickly, that the XbotGo didn't quite track as much as I would have hoped. So it didn't always track the large group of players, especially if they're a long way away. That might be aided by the zoom. It also, if there was a breakaway and the ball and the person just broke away from the pack, it would kind of remain with the pack and then kind of catch up in sort of staggered bursts, which may be about the speed of the tracking. So perhaps backing off some of the speed of the tracking or increasing the speed of the tracking might actually make that transition smoother and more effective. Now, one of the interesting things I found when I looked at my phone, you'll see from this footage that it decides to turn off, the gimbal turns off and just allows for the camera to point down to the ground. and I mucked about with this thinking, what on earth has gone wrong? Because I knew it wasn't out of battery, it was full battery. And what I realized is the Bluetooth had disconnected from the phone to the gimbal. And that was rare. It hasn't happened to me. I think it's happened to me once before. But I was like, that's not good, right? Because if I wasn't there, wasn't watching, it would have just been a mess. So what I asked them about it, and they said, did you put it in flight mode? And I didn't. So putting it in flight mode might help with that. And also they asked for me to upload the video and the log so that they can have a look and see what the issue is. And perhaps we've discovered something that they can actually fix in future firmware updates. So it's really exciting that this technology is out there, that we can AI track sports at a relatively low cost. And as you can see, there's still some tweaks needed in the software and in future firmware updates, but they will be really welcome. What I would love to see is full on zoomed in and tracking the ball as well as the movement of players, and just enabling different sports that happen in different ways to be understood a little bit differently. It'd be great for a wider range of sports to happen as well. For example, rugby, which is like American football but slightly different. What do you think? Was it any better? Then we can select our resolution. I would suggest always going high. This option, you can choose 720 or 1080p. 1080p is the higher option. You need to sign in to operate your scoreboard, and 1 to 2 is the orientation of your screen. You have here your timer. You can't turn your timer off. You can turn on your live feed though, so you need to sign in to enable that to happen. And you can actually clear. If you look down here, you can mute or unmute, and you can show the entire screen when you're filming, or you can have your controls up there. If you go to the home, it then goes back to where we were before, and I can go to my local files, which gives me that opportunity to manage them right there, and go back to my device screen. If you want to access the cloud function, you can do that by signing in here. I can go to my profile and alter anything I might need to in that screen. And also, if you want to add a remote, you can do that just here. And there's a user manual up here to give you all the information about how you use the XbotGo should you require it.
What do you think? For some of you, this update will have answered a bunch of questions or limitations that you previously had, and therefore you can go along and actually entertain the idea of getting one of these, because it solves some of your problems that the previous unupdated firmware didn't achieve. Hope it's been helpful. Any questions, hit us up below. If you want to grab one of these or investigate it, there's a link in the description below, and otherwise I'll see you after you subscribe. See what I did there? After you like. Ring the bell. Thanks heaps for watching. Bye.